Guys, thanks for tuning in. Welcome. It's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah. 2 weeks.
Yeah, we've had a few, public holidays, and we've had, a birthday and some family gatherings and some other commitments. But we're back, and we are ready to spit some shit.
That's my kid crying.
Yes.
She's a good kid.
She's a good girl. How old is she now?
10 months? Yeah.
Well, that's nice. That's very sweet.
Quite a roller coaster. Not quite a roller coaster, actually, but, a lot of work.
That's alrighty. Bro, that's alrighty.
Yeah. But having kids, I can see the many pitfalls that a lot of other people who have kids fall into. So there's a good Instagram account it's called the Fit Dad Lifestyle.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good. Gets really good messages out there, how to be a role model for your kids and to work on yourself, to train hard, stay fit and stuff like that. Yeah, they got a pre-workout supplement. It's called the 4 a.m. toddler.
Really?
You can't understand the concept.
Fair enough.
Because they wake you up during the night.
All right, man. You didn't have to explain it. All right, we get it.
But yes, this is our episode 6, and to all of our 1 subscriber on YouTube, which happens to be someone we know.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you. Dedicate this one to you.
Woo! You know who you are.
So what did you get up to on the week? It's your birthday, by the way.
Yeah,
How you
bro.
feel?
Great.
How old did you turn?
36.
Nice.
I never felt younger. I've had the other reason we haven't been recording as well is because I've been really in a lot of pain.
Have you?
Yeah. I pulled my psoas muscle.
Oh, your hip flexor.
Yeah.
That's a hip flexor. That's the one that...
So basically it inserts just in front of the spine and pretty much goes all the way down to the knee.
It's when you run, it's the one that helps lift up your knee.
Yeah, so basically right now it just feels like I've pulled my groin and my abdominal.
So how'd that happen anyway?
Well, it just started one day, it just started hurting one day. I was just not doing anything, those ones? It was like that. So,
Are you sure you pulled it?
100%. Bro, every time now, for about a week it was really bad because every time I'd get into the car and I was just lifting my leg like that and I would just feel it.
So usually with a lot of those things, it's not that one movement, it's all the repetitive movements up until that point, and it could have been something little that set her off at the end.
Yeah. Well, I was just sitting there and I felt it go and I was just like, what the hell's going on?
Other than that, you're all good?
Other than that, I've been good, I can't complain. I feel really, pretty young still. I don't feel old.
Yeah, it's important.
I think that injury sort of just made me a little bit down in the dumps, It's just because it's inhibited me from doing a lot of the exercises I want to do, like Muay Thai. Like kicking the bag, man. I love kicking the bag. I love smashing the crap out of a bag, but I just can't do it. I haven't been able to do it for quite some time. I also play golf. I go to the driving range and just hit some balls from time to time, at least once a week. I haven't been able to do that. So right now I'm really feeling that. I'm really missing the active lifestyle that I normally lead. And I must admit, it is getting to me somewhat mentally. Obviously it is temporary, but it still has affected me a little bit, bro. I must say.
Yeah, the thing with injury is the mental hurdles that you got to get over.
Yeah.
So you can imagine those people who are out for 8 to 9 months and they can't do nothing.
I don't know how they do it, man.
Yeah. So they can fall into depression and shit.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So I've been, obviously just...
Funny enough, but how long have you trained for?
Been a solid 2, maybe almost 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. And you just it's getting you down, yet you've forgotten that how many years back you hadn't trained for a long time, but you just simply got used to it.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, absolutely. He's right. We talked about this a few weeks ago where, I said for 7 years I didn't go to a gym and I didn't think much of it. I was like, I've got a woman, I don't care, right? And now it's been 2 weeks and I am bursting at the seams to get out there and have a crack at the gym.
Yeah.
So
because your mindset has changed.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think tomorrow I might just go and maybe do upper body, like chest, thigh, all that.
Yeah, you can work around it.
Yeah, maybe do some calves as well. Pretty much everything but this area, from there to there. So we'll see how we go. How's your training been? I know you've been sort of back into the Muay Thai side.
Yeah, I did my 3rd or 4th session, and there's this sick website called Dynamic Striking, where the best coaches in the world and fighters teach you things. They send you videos. So I downloaded a couple things from Teddy Atlas. He's Mike Tyson's one of Mike Tyson's first trainers. Yeah. Who taught him the style that made him so good. So it's a very rare style, like 2-3 people in the world only know how to teach it. No one does it anymore. So I downloaded that and wanted to learn it.
When you say style, what are you referring?
Peekaboo style. The arms are like that, like peekaboo.
Okay.
You know, peekaboo. Arms like that.
Right.
And you're constantly slipping, weaving, bobbing, weaving, just hooks, uppercuts, things like that. Sick style, fucking hard to do. But when you get the ins and outs of it, because I got the videos, I'll share it with you. I'll teach you some of it. You can see why only a certain amount of people are able to do it. You got to be fucking ridiculously fast. It's an explosive style meant for entertainment. You know. So the guy who invented it, Castamato, he was like, he developed the style because he wanted a style that was very entertaining to get people to watch the fight. Because that's what he said, a boxer essentially is an entertainer. So he wanted a very entertaining style and one that was devastating as well and very different. So you got your normal orthodox where you kind of like stand to one side. You know, this one's different. You're more square and you come at the opponent and you're a counter fighter. So you draw their shots. So you wait for them to throw the shot. So you try to control the fight by you make them do the shot and you slip or you bob at the last second, right? And then you come up and you do something.
Wow.
So you got to be very, very fast.
Very agile.
Very agile. You got to have good reaction time. So you can imagine it only be suitable kind of like when you're young. It's not something you can do when you're 30, 35.
You're saying I can't do it now?
No, I'm saying
that. Me up, bro, because you know I'm going to do it.
As you get older, it's harder to maintain that speed. But yeah, so I've been doing that and it's fucking awesome. So I've gotten back into the rhythm of fighting again. It just feels fucking sick, to be honest. Like doing Muay Thai again, hitting the pads. And it's more so not the fact, look, I'm nowhere near as fast as I used to be. And the power of my shots has diminished. But it will come back. I have no doubt about that. But it's more so the fact that I start to feel more athletic, you know? So you're not going to get big, you don't get massive, but I can't explain it. Your mind transforms. You know, you just feel strong, you feel powerful, you know? And there was a good analogy, like thought experiment on Joe Rogan's show with this guy called Faraz Sahabi, who's the coach of Georges St. Pierre. And he talks about this, about learning to fight in self-defense. And the point of it is like, imagine if you were to go out there. So imagine you're with your, like, say you've got a girl and you go out there at night and you have absolutely no defensive skills whatsoever. You know, or you go somewhere you don't even know how to fight. How would you feel? And you're saying, I'd feel pretty vulnerable because if anything could happen, I won't know what to do to defend myself. But not many people think like that. You know, it's a very important skill to have. Just like learn how to read or write, you should learn how to defend yourself as well. But for fitness, second to none.
It's funny, I just remembered one time we were walking out of a bar, me and my ex, and this guy wolf whistled at her.
Yeah.
I didn't think much of it, man. Like, I was just like, whatever, bro.
Wolf whistle, did you say?
Yeah, wolf whistle.
So what's a wolf whistle?
Like,
yeah, okay.
right?
Yeah.
So this guy's obviously done that, and of course, you know, she was upset, but not overly upset, and I was just sort of like waved it off, and she's like, "Are you gonna say something?" And I was like, I don't
Does she
say
know how it works around here? That like, you know, some people they don't understand that like if you go to say something, that means like it's most likely going to turn into a fight.
Right.
And you don't want to do that when you want to have you don't do that when you have the girl next to you.
Right.
Because then what if she gets hit?
Correct. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to put my mind with his. Like, you know, it just doesn't make sense. Like, I'm going to sit here and lower myself, stoop to his level because he said something or he did something that was somewhat derogatory. And I was just like, you know what, babe, let's just keep walking. And then for years she made fun of me. Because I didn't do anything about it. And I was like, really? Like, what did you want me to do? Did you want me to go up and start a fight with him?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, but you could have said something. And like, I turned around and I went, shut up. Like, and I put my hand up.
Australia's not like where she's from. It's different.
Yeah, I don't know. She was initially from Holland. Maybe there's something different there. She expected her. I think she was just trying to G me up. Maybe try to get a reaction.
I don't think she knows the... See, that's the thing, because her knowledge...
But the guy was clearly drunk, too. Yeah. And I was sober, so I was like, I'm not going to... I'm not going to engage with some drunk idiot.
My view on that is that, you know, her knowledge is clearly lacking in that area, because it's not like the case, I want you to say something. Yeah. Or whatever. A lot of these situations are very unpredictable.
Correct.
You don't know how they're going to turn out.
Correct. I honestly used my mind in that scenario. I didn't...
Yeah, to me, I only, that's why I call it self-defense. You only use it if you're put in a corner or in a position where you simply can't get up
When it's
without
absolutely
physical violence.
necessary.
But you walking past and like someone's like, I don't know, it depends. Like,
I don't think much of it, to be honest. I really,
it depends on how you want to take it. You know, I mean, if that's the case, like, you know, you get drunk idiots all the time in Sydney. If that's the case, then you never take your fucking girl out.
Correct. Correct.
You
So,
know?
anyways, that was just the funny thing that she said. We're moving on, and I was just, I didn't really take the bait, and I never will. But it was just interesting to hear her say that in a derogatory way towards me. Like I didn't do anything. I'm just like, well, what do you want me to do? Some drunk guy? I'm fucking sober. Maybe she was a little bit drunk at the time as well. So it's probably like, you know, she's got that inhibitions are being lowered and stuff. But that actually leads us on to our next topic, which is this Tom guy.
Thomas McGuirk. McGuirk. Tinder dates.
So tell the lovely people what this idiot did.
Yeah, so he met up with a girl, I think it's off the Tinder, and apparently the date was going alright, and then after they parted ways, she sent him a text, I think, could be wrong, but either way, she ended up saying, I don't want to continue this anymore, it was just like one date or something. So he essentially got rejected, and he fucking got cut. He did not like that, and so I got some of the texts here, some of the shit he said to her.
Okay, enjoy your night. Don't want to waste your time. Okay, well,
Can you listen? That's what he said to her.
you're actually a fat fucking pig. You know that?
Calls her a fat fucking pig.
Thanks, you did waste my time.
For wasting his
You're
time.
fucking ugly. Your little ass looks ugly.
So he
And
keeps
you
going.
would have been one fuck. You would have been just one fuck.
So he says to her, you would have been one fuck.
Because you're a disgusting fat pig.
Calls her a fat pig again.
And
then
look, you don't have issues if you call out someone for being a shit person.
calls her a shit
You're a
person.
piece of shit.
Calls
And
her a
you're
piece
fat,
of shit.
You're ugly.
Fat,
you're
ugly.
The inside and the outside. And I say that to shit people. Good people are treated well.
Says he treats good people well.
Look at my fucking face. I don't have struggle getting laid. I turned down a chick tonight. So yeah, I choose not to masturbate. I choose not to come a lot. And look, you just called me hot 5 minutes ago saying you think I don't need to get laid. I don't struggle getting laid. You're right, I don't struggle getting laid. And I especially don't need a 4 like you.
Calls her a 4 out of 10. So
this guy's got some issues, eh?
yeah, and then he sent her some other messages saying, "See ya, you fat, you ugly fat time wasting whore." Yeah.
Anyways,
Because-
this guy's
and
this guy's
then
got issues. Massive,
Full on.
deep-seated
And then-
issues.
so there's more to this story, but first on that part, so he got rejected, you know, and just started fucking bagging her out and stuff like that, you know.
And look, let's get something straight. Right?
Narcissistic behaviour.
No one likes getting rejected. Nobody. Alright? You know, I was talking to a couple of girls the other day. We're talking about how men approach women and you know, how a very high percentage, 95 to 97% of men don't approach because they're just afraid of rejection. So we're talking about that and they were like, oh yeah, we've been single for so long, you know, we don't get approached, this and that. I'm like, well, have you ever tried approaching? And they're like, oh no, my God, no, Jesus Christ, we'd never do that. Why? Oh man, no, jeez, I'm afraid, you know. And then obviously the same, you know, excuses that 97% of men would use. So I think that, you know, if someone like a woman who's used to getting approached or expects an approach doesn't want to do the approaching, imagine the guy who's actually, you know, got that pressure on him to do the approach feels, and after getting rejected. So, you know, no one's immune to rejection, but I think it speaks highly of your own character how you react to it.
Yeah, of course.
And I think this idiot, this muppet of a human, he's now on the back foot because he's you know, spat out a massive apology and
because he got fired. So it went all the way to his company. The news got back. He got fired, and he came out with an apology saying, you know, I'm sorry, I'm disgusted in my behaviour because, you know, I find it, I don't know, you know, I find getting rejected to be hurtful, and all this bullshit. My view is that he's only saying the apology because he got exposed,
100%.
and because the news is out there, it'll probably be very hard for him to find another job again if they ever were to look him up, which all recruitments look you up,
100%.
you know, online. The second thing is that, you know, if you get rejected, you know, and you will, like, not everyone has to fuck it. Like, I try to drum this into a lot of people. You know, you gotta let go of your ego. Not everyone has to like you. Has to find. I'm sure there are people that find me to be a fucking ugly cunt. Back when I was single, and I was trying to approach you.
And still do.
You know, probably still do. They probably think I was a fuckwit or whatever. But you don't sit there and you fucking cry about it, and then you start taking it out on the person. They have all their right, complete, you know, within their rights to completely reject you. You fucking just take it and you move on. How you react to that rejection says more about you. And this guy going on and saying, you know, look at my face, look how handsome I am, this and that. He just pretty much sounds to me like some fuckwit little kid who, like, you know, oh, you hurt my feelings. Oh, how dare you reject me? You know, and all this shit. Like, I don't know.
Have you ever acted that way?
Nah, never. Not. I've been rejected heaps of times. I just fucking move on with my life.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I keep saying. You get rejected, you fucking move on with your life. You know? Not all this, oh, just give me. And some guys, they even start, like, getting very forceful. Where they're like, oh, like, they keep pursuing. Like, oh, you know, just give me a chance. What is it? It's kind of like, look, man, just fuck off. You got rejected. Fuck off. There are plenty of other girls out there. You know? So, I can't get into that mindset. I don't know why they're like that. It could be he's a very full-on narcissist that he doesn't know it. So to him, it hit his ego very, very hard. You know? But then it makes me think, you know, like, I've got a little one, I've got a little daughter. You know, when she's like, say 20, 21, whatever, she's probably going to come across fucking people like this.
You're going to be a dad, D-A-D-D. Dads against daughters dating.
Yeah, so she'll probably come across people like this, you know. And I feel like what needs to happen is that, like, a lot of guys, you got to understand, like, if you get rejected, cop the rejection and you simply move on. Because that person has every right to reject you. You don't sit there and piss and whine and cry about it.
Correct. And you know, you got to just look at the guys on YouTube. They're just going around just talking shit to girls, like absolute utter garbage, and still not get rejected, and still have the balls to approach and say shit.
To me, it says you're a fucking loser if that's how you act after you're getting rejected. That's what it says to me.
That's right. And these guys might do, you know, one video where they're talking to, say, I don't know, have the 3-minute spiel, like, which is a shortened version of their video, right? The ones that you see on Facebook.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it might be a 5-minute video and they might see, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 girls. But you got to understand, like, they might bump into 8 girls in the video, but they might have, you know, gone through another 50 to get those 8 and get those reactions and interact with them. So just remember, guys, even the best of the best doing what they do on a daily basis get rejected. And you know what they do? Shrug.
Yeah.
And they fucking move on, okay.
Whatever.
It just means that that person doesn't want a bar of you. Alright? It just means that that person's not ready to engage with you. That person's in a different mindset. That person's in a different part of their life. That person's just not interested.
Yeah. Or they could find you fucking ugly. And that's alright as well. They just
Well,
don't
I didn't want to
you.
go there.
Well, that's kind of, sometimes that's what it is.
Alright.
They're just not fucking attracted to you.
No, you know
like,
what?
oh, what is it? It's like, sometimes, look, man, to a girl, sometimes you're fucking ugly. And they don't want you. Like, get over it and fucking move on.
And you know what? Sometimes you can be the most handsome guy in the world. Girls will still reject you, bro. Because you know why? You might not be their type. Like, some girls like white guys. Some girls like black guys. Some girls like Middle Eastern guys. Some girls like hairy guys. Some girls like not a guy with hair. Guy with not a single hair. You can't please everyone. You can't please every female. So guys, just be yourselves.
Yeah. So
that's the bottom line.
usually, like, I side with, most of the time, like, I see a lot of, well, I don't side with any, but in this case, I was completely on the female side of what happened.
Oh, 100%.
Where, you know?
100%. Like, I always support humanity in general.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really believe in, you know, the man's better than the woman or the woman's better than the man. That's all bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, we're all equal.
Because everyone's different.
Correct. We're all
That's what
equal.
it is.
We all deserve to be treated equally. I think what needs to happen is, if you're a man and you want to get a girl, you need to approach. You need to understand one thing very, very clearly. You need to go in and you need to expect to be rejected. Because if you expect rejection, you're going to deal with it a lot better. If you go in expecting the best scenario, not only are you going to be completely frazzled when it goes the other way, you're going to not learn from the experience. You're only going to learn from the rejections, guys. You're not going to learn from the ones that go, oh, okay, I'll give you my number. What are you going to learn from that? You just walked up to someone and said, hey, can I have your number? And she gives it to you. What did you just learn from that? Absolutely nothing. Yeah, it's another fucking, mark or, notch on your bedpost. Great. But what the fuck did you learn from it? Nothing. Did you grow any character? No. Okay, you went and approached another girl. And you got a number. You got another number. Like, big fucking deal. Like, what else did you achieve? You achieved fuck all, right? But it's from those rejections you learn, and you need to understand to keep going. And it's how you deal with that rejection, how you can continue and pretend like it never happened. That is where you build your character, guys. Honest to God. Otherwise, you know what? No one would ever approach. Ever.
Yeah. But you know what? Talking about that scenario, so this was all done over text. I wonder if she rejected him in person, how he would have reacted.
Yeah, probably, definitely different. Like, it might.
Would he have been aggressive? Like, that's why, remember we were talking about the whole self-defense thing.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's an important thing. Because say that rejection happened in person and the guy starts getting aggressive, like, what do? There's no one around to help. By the time help comes, it's too late.
Yeah, you just better.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I know it's a morbid topic, but
Yeah, see,
that's self-defense. Learning it is quite important.
And I guess that's where sort of females have become so flaky. And ghosting happens because instead of dealing with the predicament or dealing with the potential altercation or dealing with some drama, they choose just not to say anything. And that's
Which
why
is understandable.
That's right, and then I think that's why a lot of this ghosting now is happening, because you send a text, girl doesn't respond ever again, fine. You get the shits, you're like, fuck, this is another thing, another ghosting, like, why is this happening? But that could be something that's attributed to that in her life, She might have, not her personally, like that specific person, but I think females in general have dealt with so many dicks that they've just gone, you know what, it's too hard to deal with the drama, I'm just not going to create any, I'm just not going to respond.
Yeah. Like, I know me, like, if I was like seeing a girl which is like full drama and stuff like that, I'd probably like, yeah, fucking just ghost her.
Yeah, if she's being dramatic. Look,
drama.
I mean, I don't believe in ghosting. I think it's the rudest thing you can do. I think that everyone needs closure. I think if you're a man of your word and you got integrity and honesty, and we all need to have that in our lives, I think you definitely need to have an understanding of who you are, and you need to make the other person know where they stand with you at all times. And I think that's why a lot of people do ghost, because they might not be able to intricately express that to the other person. And again, that's understandable. It's just a lack of character. I get it. Fuck, I've been ghosted many times, but I don't sit there fucking going off like this dish. Like, obviously she didn't ghost him, but I'm just saying, like, I know guys that have gone back and just tried to keep, getting a reaction out of the person that ghosted them, but it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
Just unnecessary. Like Chris said earlier, you just need to move on.
Yeah. It's weird, when people understand that concept. Like, they get hung up on the one person.
Oh, dude. I used to be, man, number one. I was number one at doing that. Yeah. Number one, bro. So I'd get rejected. I'm like, what? You fucking rejecting me? What the fuck? What are you, I'm better than you? I'd carry on, right? Like, in my head, obviously, I wouldn't express that. And then now, I'm just like, too bad. She's going to miss out on the best fucking night of her life at my place with the best fucking plate of pasta she's ever had, the best fucking bottle of wine, the best food she's ever had. That's the way I see it. You know what I mean? It's their loss. You got to think of that, guys. Sometimes you got to just put yourself up one peg on that totem pole, man. Sometimes you just got to say that you're better than them, and you are. You just got to be better. That's it. Be a better man. Fucking move on. That's it. Case closed.
Yes. Yeah, case closed on that one.
I think it's just. I think I get so angry.
It's the intricacies of the dating world.
I get so angry about certain things that guys say out of desperation, It just makes me...
What do you mean, like they get to, like...
like guys that you know create altercations after a girl ghosts them, chasing down women. You know, like if they.
You know what's the term for that?
What?
Simp.
Simp.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, probably like simping. I don't know what it means. I've heard of it thrown around a few times, but I don't know what exactly it means. So the word simp, I think it's like simpleton. I don't know, simping out. Is that what it means? Is that kind of wimping out, or I don't know.
No.
How is it expressed? Because
So the actual definition is a silly or foolish person. However, in the context of what we're talking about, right? It's different. It's got like more like an urban meaning.
Yeah.
Simp is a slang, so it's slang insult for men who are seen as too attentive and submissive to women.
Yeah.
Especially out of a failed hope of winning some entitled sexual attention or activity from them. So the word simp is meant to troll young men for doing anything for a girl to get some action he supposedly deserves. So it's the whole, for example, I've been such a nice guy to you. Oh, he's my sheep. Look how many times I've been a nice guy, so when am I going to get laid?
Yeah.
You know, one of those guys who just, they fucking do everything.
Yeah.
They're not dating, but they'll drive him here and they'll drive him there. And they'll pull him out of a situation or whatever. And then in the end, they expect something in return. So that's the definition. And you see it a lot. You see it, for example, like, you know, if the girl's got nothing wrong with her, like guys who are like holding their girlfriend's bags and shit while they go shopping and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
Or guys who are afraid to speak up towards their girlfriend, to say that, oh look, like to have their own voice, oh look, I disagree with that, or I disagree with that because I have fear that, oh, she might get angry, and then, oh, you know, I might not get laid and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like,
You know, it's
really
funny.
submissive. So think of really submissive guys, and you see it everywhere. I see it everywhere.
100%. Most guys that are with women are submissive.
You know. So
I'm going to say a fucking majority of men with women are submissive.
yeah.
Majority. Don't know what the percentage is, but my gut says it's more than 50%.
My gut would say it's majority as well. Yeah, definitely more than 50%.
I reckon it's probably high, like really high, like in the 70 bracket, 70 maybe 80.
Yeah.
Because the way I see it, you know, and I pay attention to this, guys, you know, if you don't understand where I'm coming from, the amount of times I look at someone or interaction between a couple, and I see it and I'm like, yeah, that woman's got full control over this bloke.
Yeah.
And it's, honestly, these days, fucking 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Like, I never see the man just fucking kicking back going, fuck, I'm the man. I've never stopped. I know one guy like that at the moment. Out of, you know, the hundreds that I've seen, out of the hundreds of couples.
Yeah.
Like, it's depressing, man.
Yeah.
You know, now that we're obviously on this self-development path and have been for some time, you know, we're always reading up on books, we're always accepting new information, and it just, everything becomes so apparent. And then you start, like, education is everything, man. I remember my school principal, do you remember Brother Bernard?
Yeah.
He used to say, education is everything. And, you know, that phrase never evaded me, man. It's always been in the back of my mind. Every time, you know, one person that I really admire is you, sir, because this guy here, the guy on my left, he's always reading stuff and he absorbs information really well. I don't read as much as him. I don't absorb as much as he does. I just tell him to read a book and then just spit out what the fuck he summarises, and I just learn that way. But I'm not the best reader anyway. I prefer to listen on the way to work. I use Audible and that. But not everything.
I use Audibles now.
Yeah, cool. I don't really. I think everything's on Audible. Like some of the stuff I've been listening to or reading has been on Instagram. Believe it or not, like, you know, a lot of people diss Instagram about how fucking vain it is, but there's some really intricately expressive manhood sort of style information, you know, and self-development in that sense as well. So, you know, now that I'm following these particular people, I'm just like, wow, info, like, you know, each post is just like, wow, oh wow, okay, wow, and it just goes in. I know you flick through a lot, but I absorb a lot of it because it's just what I'm passionate about. So I think it's really good to, you know, really educate yourself. Try to absorb as much information you can, because can I just say, it will change your perspective on things, which is why I now see what we're talking about.
Yeah, I see it a lot as well.
And it's depressing.
Like,
Why have we let it come to this? Like, are we that weak as a gender that we can't find the value in ourselves? We've got to find value through someone else.
I don't think it's a gender thing. I think it's just like specific to that person. It just happens to be a lot of them.
But that's a gender
You
thing,
know,
bro.
I don't think it's a gender thing because I don't know. It depends on like.
But
Like,
women don't have that problem
what
of
would you-
self-worth.
Well,
They do, but not as big as percentage
like
as
what
men.
would you say then? You know, like what would you say the attributes of someone who is being controlled? Like how would you then say that person's being controlled?
Someone who pleases the other person and does everything for them and does not take into consideration their thoughts or their
Do you think that's most people?
opinions
Most-
or
Most relationships?
Well, we just said it. We just agreed.
Yeah.
Whereas we're saying the majority is submissive.
You know, or do you think it's by chance a lot of those people? We just know a lot of those type of people.
No, I'm not talking about the ones that
Yeah.
I know. I'm talking about like just in society, going out. Go out in the street, bro. Go for a
Yeah.
walk through the park. Go for a walk through anywhere that's
Like
crowded.
what is it? Like what I'm trying to ask was, what is specific that you see that makes you think that?
For example,
Yeah, like an example. Like give me an example of like what you see. And
let's say someone's ordering from the menu.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the menu and I know exactly what I want. Yeah. The woman next to me will say to me, what are you getting, hon? Oh, I'm thinking about getting the steak. Nah, don't get the steak. You don't like steak. Get the chips.
Oh, you see that? I've
Yeah.
never seen that.
Fucking see it all the time, bro.
Really?
100%. I saw it today. I was at a restaurant today, so I heard it. I was sitting on a table of like 12, 13 people. There was this couple next to us, and I was overhearing some of the words that were being exchanged, and I wasn't eavesdropping. It just so happened at that moment, it just went really quiet, and we were like on the water, so you could just hear the water and the wind. And I was just like, wow, this is typical of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I can hear it, I can feel it, I can breathe it, man.
Yeah.
This guy, and it wasn't even, sometimes it's not even about what they say, it's how they say it, and the facial expressions just reveal everything. Next time you guys are watching, if you're ever people watching, have a look at the way couples interact.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if there's any affection being shown, it's usually the guy showing the first sign of affection. I guarantee you, if there's any bit of submissiveness these days, I guarantee it's being shown by the man first. If there's any sort of dispute, I guarantee it's the guy saying sorry first. I had this problem in my relationship.
I've noticed that with the whole like, it's the guy saying sorry first.
Do you know what my problem was in my relationship? I didn't have that exact problem. It was the opposite.
Yeah.
I couldn't say sorry for when she wanted me to.
Yeah.
I was not submissive.
Yeah.
She got annoyed.
Yeah.
She used to fucking crack the shits.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of guys out there with disagreeing with me. Oh no, you can't argue with a woman. She'll never see eye to eye with
You
you.
know which one I hate the worst is that whole fucking saying, happy wife, happy life.
Oh,
Was it happy life? No, happy wife, happy life.
dude, I was a massive believer in that.
You know?
But it wasn't. After outside the relationship, looking in, I was like, fuck, it's actually not a good thing because I was doing anything and everything to shut her up.
Yeah.
Just to keep her happy. Like, it's not happy sometimes. It's not happy wife, happy life. It's quiet wife, happy life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself,
Yeah.
has it gone to this fucking level that we got to do everything in our power to keep them quiet? Just so we can live our lives in peace, or our lives happily, or our lives doing the things that we want without them having to put their 2 cents in and make us feel, less or devalue
There's
us.
a whole psychology around it, like that whole where they fucking like I hear it so many times, where like girls are like, oh, this person needs to like man up and it's a way of emotional control. That's what a lot of guys don't understand. They fall into that trap because they're like, I'm gonna man up. It sounds like something so heroic, like a goal they're gonna try to get, and then like their significant other's gonna be so happy, but it's an emotional trap. The way I see is that it becomes an emotional trap as a way of controlling you. Do you know what I mean? like, you know, why this guy's gonna fucking man up, this and that. And like a good example was, you know, the place where I used to work. I see it a lot as well, and I feel so bad for a lot of these people. Like, you know, I see it a lot where the guys are like, yeah, I used to do this, and you know, I can't do it anymore.
And again, we get that there will be ladies watching this, thinking, oh, hey, I've been through this as well from my side.
But we're just talking about guys here.
Correct. So bear with us.
Yeah, and like, you know, I've seen it too many times where the guys are like, you know, I used to do this and that, but you know, now that I got married, like, I can't, my wife, she nags me about it, all this stupid shit.
Yeah.
But talking about the whole, like, where I used to work, there was a group of girls who worked at Woolworths.
Yeah.
And one of the girls there,
Which is a grocery store.
Yeah, one of the girls there, I remember she was getting married. And I was talking to one of the girls there, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know she had a partner. She goes, no, she didn't for a while, but they got back together getting married. I go, what do you mean? Like, what? So they've broken up, they got back together, now they're getting married. They're like, yeah, oh, he wasn't like, he didn't want to marry her, so we all started hassling him, telling him, you know, you got to man up and fucking propose and this and that. And I'm just like fucking shaking my head, and I'm going, he's marrying her. She goes, yeah. I go, first of all, like, you know, maybe obviously the guy didn't want to marry her. He's just like some submissive fuckwit that just bowed down to the pressure of you guys, you know.
Wow.
And second of all, it just told me, it was ever since that day, I was taught how emotionally manipulative people can be, and it happens in both genders. Guys do it to girls, but I'm talking about the way girls do it to guys. That when you're in a
again,
relationship,
I think it's majority.
Yeah,
majority is on.
Yeah, when it happens to guys, and we fall for it. A lot of these guys, they fall for it. You gotta fucking man up. You know, you gotta do better. I've seen shit like, you know, the guys are like, oh, she deserved better, so I became the better that she deserved. It's like, fuck off. It's like, fuck off.
All right, Mr. Hero.
Do you know what I mean?
Please relax. Yeah.
It's just a form of emotional control. You know, when guys do it to girls, it's actually seen as abuse, emotional abuse. But for some reason, when it happens to us, it's just like it's swept under the rug.
Yeah.
No one talks about it, so it's a forgotten it's a statistic that never gets recorded.
Yeah.
So it looks like that guys are just like, you know, always in a position of privilege and stuff. But you'd be surprised at how many guys out there just, are very submissive in relationships. Don't. You know, bow down to their partner, feel like they don't have a voice.
Yeah.
That's the most important one.
Yeah.
You know, that's why, like,
this is the voice.
Yeah, that's why we're like with feminism. As much as like, I do agree. One of the things that they do very well is they try to say, oh, you know, like never lose your voice. Always hammer that home. You know, always hammer that message home about women having a voice, right? So that's for their gender, whatever. But I feel like for guys, they can lose it very quickly in a relationship, and it never gets talked about. So it's like it's an unrecorded statistic, you know. And I agree with what you say. I see it a lot. You see it in a lot of couples, you know. You see it in a lot you just like, you know, I have this
phrase. You
can even sense it sometimes.
I have this phrase, right? And I got this phrase from a company called OnePlus. They make phones, right? Mobile phones, cell phones. And it was my first one, and you know, when you turn the phone on, every brand has this flashy background. Their one was never settle, right? And ever since I saw that, I was like, fuck yeah, man, that's me. Because I don't settle. I don't settle for second best. And that's the paradigm we should all encapsulate, guys. We should really just be about that. Like, what, you know, the reason I was talking about before about how I was saying that, you know, when I'm observing people, you know, it's usually the woman's taking charge and whatnot. It's like that guy, maybe even the woman, has just settled. Like, this is all they think they could get. Like, I know a guy, not one word of a lie, right? One of the best looking blokes I know, but so insecure. He settled for a woman that is not the best match for him, in my opinion. She's
Do I know this person?
No.
Okay.
She's obsessive. She's controlling, and she's not even that good looking. Like, compared to him, she's like half
Yeah.
Like, seriously, half as good looking as the guy.
Yeah.
But he's content. He's in that emotional trap, that beautiful web of, you know, feminism that encapsulates most relationships. Maybe feminism isn't the word now. What word am I looking for? This
Gynocentric?
yeah. What's wrong with that? But I think it's what I'm trying to say.
It means when everything is about the girl.
Okay, that's right.
So when you say you have a gynocentric society, it means that the whole society is about pleasing the woman,
Alright,
like not offending her, doing anything to make her.
So this gynocentric web, or I guess you could say, in some instances, web of manipulation, which women are so good at. It's something that they learn from a young age. While us men are out in the football field throwing or kicking the ball around and talking about girls and what we'd like to do to them, they're sitting down talking to each other and manipulating each other first, and then fucking us over. Simple. And they learn that from in their school years, whereas we're too busy being fucking simple-minded and just having a laugh with our mates, enjoying life with sport and whatnot, and other activities or whatever it may be, whatever you like, whatever you're into. There's no right or wrong. I'm just saying, like in general, if you look at the behaviours of females at school and the behaviours of males at school, it's just fucking chalk and cheese, man. Chalk and cheese, And
so how would we solve this then? So say if the guy's in a position right now where he feels like... So you got two type of guys. You got ones who are in that position who don't even know it. So I don't know how you even get through to them. Right?
Okay, the ones that don't know, we can't help.
Yeah.
Forget about them. They're lost. We've lost them.
I think you can help them.
No, we can't. Because now what you're doing is you're creating a problem for them.
Yeah.
No. If they don't know they're there,
I would say
you're sending them down a rabbit hole. There's no point.
I would say to those guys to follow their passions, and they'll realise once they start following their passion, they don't have time for a lot
because
of
let me tell you,
petty shit in their lives.
Because if I watched this podcast back when I was in a relationship with the girl that I was with, and I was watching this,
would you think we're fuckwits? We don't know what we're talking
I
about?
would have thought to some extent that these guys don't know what it's like to be in a meaningful relationship, and these guys don't know how to...
You're one of those cunts, eh?
These guys don't know what it's like to be in love. They don't know what it's like to be married. They don't know what it's like to be ex. They don't know what it's like to be wife. That's what I would have said. But, in hindsight, can I just say, is a fucking great tool. I love it.
Yeah.
In hindsight, or as one of my old buddies used to say, in retrospect, he used to fucking abuse the word retrospect. I swear everything was in retrospect, even when it wasn't supposed to be. In retrospect, it just makes me laugh thinking about it. In retrospect, in hindsight, I look back and I think, wow, you know what? I don't think I would have acknowledged an issue.
Yeah.
Because the relationship was gynocentric.
Yeah.
Extremely, to the nth degree.
I think if you had told me everything, because I lost contact with you during those years.
Yeah.
But if you told me everything, I would have highlighted that issue for you. Like, because I do it to one of my friends now. So I won't name him, but like he's undergoing the same thing, and I highlight the issue to him fucking once every 2 days. Okay,
but when you do that, okay, obviously let's go back to the beginning of you highlighting that.
Yeah.
What was his view on that when you initially made that first interaction?
He comes up with a rebuttal.
And it seems logical from their standpoint, right?
Huh?
Seems logical from their standpoint, right?
No, I wouldn't even say so, but he...
they believe it's logical.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It seems, that's what
I mean.
from
their... sorry, I looked at it wrong. I interpret that wrong.
Yeah.
So he comes up with a rebuttal every single time. So I don't know whether you would have done the same.
100%. 100%.
And I would have got frustrated to the point where oh, fuck this guy. And he would just learn the hard way in the end, which we all do. I learned the hard way.
I did.
But to the ones who so I would say to the ones who don't know, if you're friends with them, I would say you tell them. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I think that if you genuinely care about these men and you feel like this you can add value to their life, please do so. But please don't lose the relationship because of it. Because some people just.
I would say you wouldn't lose a relationship. If they're genuinely your friend, you wouldn't.
I believe that to some degree because I think that the way that you're putting it out there, Chris, and I know you've got a really kind heart and you're very honest and you've got integrity front of mind. But I think that a lot of the guys out there that are in the same position, would be going out in that same mindset to
Yeah.
try and fix this guy. But let's just say this guy is content and he's happy in that relationship to be submissive and just has settled, right? We're using that word, they've settled. That person might not be so, what can I say? What word am I?
Receptive to
Receptive, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Spot on, fucking exactly. See, he's got a fucking dictionary already. No, but like, I think that a high percentage of those men will not be receptive. So guys, don't lose a relationship over it's not worth it. But if you put in your 2 cents, and that person, creates some distance between you, then the relationship wasn't that good anyway. Fuck them. But if you've genuinely tried, and you can say hand on heart, I did it for their good. Great to you. My hat goes off to you. But please don't put yourself into a position where you're going to lose a friend over it. Because let's face it, we've got different friends for different needs. We do. I learned this when I was a kid. My dad told me, my uncle told me, whatever. Hey, you have friends that you go out with. You have friends that you play sport with. You have friends that you study with. You have friends that you kick back and hang out with at the house. You have friends that you can fucking drink with. You can have friends that you do, another activity, fucking soccer with, whatever, right? Just remember, guys, if you're in that group and you have certain groups of friends that do X, Y, Z with, and you don't want to lose them for that reason, look, do what you got to do, be a man about it, fucking help them out, try to, and if they're not receptive, just forget about it. Just go, listen, man, you're right. Thank you so much, and just continue the relationship. Because sometimes, you know what, that person might be your only fucking ping pong buddy. I don't know.
So what about the ones who do know they're in that situation?
The ones that do, I think, will be a lot more receptive, right?
So what I'm saying is, what are you supposed to do for them? Like, what would you say to them? Say one of them's listening to you right now, and he's like, oh yeah, you know what, my partner fucking, she yells at me all the time and swears at me and puts me down.
Okay. My question would be very succinct, and I'll tell you exactly what I'd ask that person. I'd say, when was the last time you did what you wanted to do without being yelled at? Yeah. When was the last time you did what you wanted to do without a rebuttal from the partner? When was the last time you did what you wanted to do without that person making you feel
or speak your mind? I'd say even speaking your mind. That's even more, because
correct.
Sometimes doing what you want to do,
but
they'll
I
come
guess
up with an excuse. You know what happened? They'll come up with an excuse.
No, you're right. Look,
and say, but we had this. But when was the last time you weren't afraid? I would say this: we weren't afraid. When was the last time you genuinely spoke your mind without any fear or whatever of the repercussions?
Yeah.
Like not be like, I can't say that because my punch, you might get fucking angry.
Yeah.
Isn't that?
Sometimes I used to say shit to my ex to make her angry. Swear to God.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you know what, fuck it. If I don't say it, I'm fucked. If I do, I'm fucked. Well, I'd rather say it and let it out in the open. And that person knows who I am and what I'm about.
And then
that's how I see it.
I'd say if it's gone to that stage, my advice would be to leave.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what's at stake.
Look, I was, obviously as a Christian, as a Catholic, I was married. I didn't see an exit. I couldn't. For me, it was just about fixing it, keeping it, maintaining it, keeping it whole.
See, I disagree with that. I think, I think that's been conditioned into our heads, right? Say, like divorce, it's bad. It's like I'm saying if you are married, but I think if it's come to a stage where you can't speak your mind, then that to me is the way out. And to me personally, I wouldn't care what's that cost, because to me, if you can't speak your mind, you're essentially in a prison.
But don't forget, Chris. I mean, you've conditioned that in yourself over years of, dealing with rejection and years of, and I don't say that in a derogatory way. I think you've done a good job, because I know, years ago, Chris would, go up and approach a girl with no fear.
Yeah.
Whereas me, I was fucking full of fear. Fear would overcome me so much, I wouldn't even go anywhere near that person. So, I think that you've conditioned that in yourself over working on your particular mindset over years and years, that you can now say that, whereas a lot of the guys that are listening, they probably won't be in that position. In such a strong mindset. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But absolutely, your advice is vital.
Yeah.
What you're saying is absolutely correct. But I'm just saying for the guys out there that might not share that opinion because they feel insecure. Yeah. For whatever reason.
Well, they probably think, there's just so much work involved if we have to split up and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think that's what it deters a lot of guys from starting the process, is that, they forget that, it's a cliche, but I'll say it, they forget that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Yeah. It simply does. And you've just got to take the step in the right direction, guys. That's all you got to do, even if you don't. If you you don't take it in the right direction, the fact that you did that step is one step closer to a target of some description, whether it's mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever it may be.
Yeah. So I'd say speaking your minds, and again, for me, it comes back to the whole your voice.
Yeah.
Is your voice reduced, like in your relationship?
Is it heard?
Do you feel like you have to reduce it because of how the other person might react?
Absolutely.
You
I
know,
felt that all the time
And if that's,
when I was in a relationship.
you know, if that's how you are, if that's how you feel, then like if you can't speak your mind, so the voice is very important, and that's what feminism gets across very well. You know, they tell like girls and stuff like that, you know, to be wary of relationships and stuff because it's a way to reduce your own voice. So I'd take that same message and give it to guys as well, that you got to think the same way as well.
Yeah, and I think a lot of men are, I guess, hesitant to do that because of the relationship that they're in.
Yeah, there's this whole thing, there's also because of the sunk cost fallacy, where they think, oh, but you know, been together 5-6 years and now it's all for nothing. So completely thinking the wrong way.
Yeah, cut your losses.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know why, it depresses me every time I see it. Like, it saddens me when I actually see it.
Yeah.
When I see people in these situations.
Yeah, you've got to cut your losses, guys.
And then, one of the things that it reminds me is that I fucking remember this person when they were single. And how happy they were, and how less stressed they were. And they were living life, and they were fucking happy all the time. You know? And, like, now, their voice, they can't speak their mind anymore. Like, man, you went from on top of the world, single, traveling, whatever, and now you can't even fucking speak your mind anymore. You know?
Yeah, right. See, that's the thing. I think a lot of people, you know, they get into relationships because they just feel like they need it. They feel like that they need that thing of value, it being that relationship, including a woman. So they feel like, okay, they can't value themselves on their own. Yeah. So they're going to go out and find values elsewhere. And that's what we've been speaking since the beginning, guys. You've got to make yourself complete before you look at something else to complete you. Yeah. I think that's where a lot of people come unstuck.
Yeah, so you got to have your own thing. You know, you got to have your own thing going and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, looking
have your
back,
own passions and hobbies, something that is just completely you. Doesn't involve anyone else.
Yeah,
doesn't involve your partner.
Because now that you say that, I can you know, give you my spin on that, because when I was in a committed relationship for many years, the relationship was gynocentric, but more so because that person was from another country, and I spent my whole sort of being making sure they were comfortable in this country. Because they were away from their family, there's a different language, obviously different culture.
That's what I would say, sorry, keep going.
But that's, for me personally, in that particular instance, that's what took it out of me. And then when you talking about, being yourself, having your own interests and hobbies, myself, shit, what about her? I had nothing. I had no interests, no hobbies. It was just about her. Whereas now, if you ask me, fuck, man, let's start counting. Where do we begin? Fuck, bro, like, Muay Thai, golf, gym, soccer, like basketball, tennis. Like,
but you had all those stuff before her, except the Muay Thai.
Yeah, correct. And I know
you just forgotten over the years. That's what happened, because remember when we went to Thailand? Hold up. So
back in Thailand, you saying?
Yeah. So when I met you, you were doing all that stuff. You had your... I remember because I came and watched you play basketball.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was a lot.
You were a PT. You were hitting the gym. I think you did indoor soccer.
Yes, I did.
As well.
Yeah.
Extremely fit. That's what I remember. Extremely fit. And yeah, so you had all that. It's just that your identity merged with someone else and you had forgotten. And then so many years went on that you've forgotten how you used to live. Maybe you remember, maybe it popped up in your head. To you, it was a memory that was easily brushed aside.
Yeah, because for me, it was just about keeping her happy. But that's how I saw the relationship, and I forgot about myself. I genuinely did. I put her first in every single situation. Yeah. Sometimes,
which I understand, because this is why I disagree with a lot of overseas relationships that come together, because this situation where as the guy you feel bad because she's literally moved everything to come here. And now it's kind of like, you feel like there's an expectation where you got to devote now all your time around her.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. that was one thing that I learned. You know, so how do you see me now, sort of, you know, before that and now after that? Do you sort of think that I'm the same person now, back to the way I was?
Oh, yeah. So the way I see you now is that if you never met that person, right? So your trajectory, you were here.
Yeah.
So you met that person, you went down here, and then now you've gone up here. So hadn't you met that person, you would have just done this.
Okay.
So it's sort of like you built on that person you were before her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't see the same. I actually see like even more than that person.
Awesome. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. It means
Because
I'm
like,
working hard. It means my the fruits of my reward. What do you got? The fruits of my reward. No, that's not how it works.
My labour.
The fruits of my labour.
Yeah. So but yeah, so that's what I think a lot of people need to watch out for when they get into relationships.
Yeah.
Stuff is that not losing your voice, your identity.
Yeah.
You know, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. I think that you know, you sent me that that video last night
about the hero. Don't be a hero.
Don't be a hero. It's just about that. You know, when you're in a relationship, or you know, when you seek value through a woman, you're always trying to sacrifice yourself. You're that sacrificial lamb. You know, all the time. You know, you put them first. Sometimes you just got to step back and think, no, there's no point being the hero ever. All right, I need to be myself first before I can entertain anyone else. And I think, man, that video spoke to me. Maybe we can leave a link in the.
Yeah, I'll leave a link to it. I subscribe to their channel. I think it's called Inhuman.
Man, honestly, this guy was just a really just clear, you know, sort of 8 minutes or so video. Very clear, concise. The information was just spoke to me, man. I think as men, this video will speak to you. It really, really will. I really, really recommend.
I'll leave the link. I can't
That's alright. That's alright.
Yeah.
We can do that. I think that you guys should really, really check it out. It'll be awesome. Any funny stories that you remember?
Funny stories?
I actually remembered one because remember last time you shared yours.
Alright, you share yours then.
So what happened, right? I was in Brazil. This is 2 years ago.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, I took a year off work and I went travelling. And what happened was I was in the middle of the street at night. I was probably like 10, 11, and I was in Rio, just on the street parallel to the beach. I was walking down the street. There wasn't many people on the street at the time. There was just one girl just randomly in the middle there, and she was on the phone. And I was like, man, I've never approached a woman in my life. Like, how am I going to get this person's attention, let alone on the phone, right? So I was like, excuse me. She's talking in Portuguese, and not many people speak, English. Very low percentage in Brazil. Anyways, so she's like this. She's like blah blah blah, like talking in Portuguese. She puts her phone out. She looks at me, and then she just carries on like I was as if I wasn't there. Because so the reason I did that was because I was looking for this nightclub, and we were in this main strip of Copacabana Beach, down towards Ipanema. If anyone knows Brazil, you know what I'm talking about. And I was looking for a club, and there wasn't many clubs there, maybe one or two. And I was looking for a specific one, and I was googling it. And I knew I was in the right area, but I just needed someone to go, it's a good nightclub, and it's just there. It's basically on there, right? So, anyways, while she was on the phone, I sort of just stood back a couple of meters, and I was just back on my phone trying to Google this place, and I forgot about her. Now, because I was still in her, in the area, in close proximity to her, when she got off the phone, she looked back at me and she started to try and converse with me in Portuguese. I'm like, no fala português, which means I don't speak Portuguese. And I said to her, listen, looking for a nightclub, such name. And the funny thing is, when you say nightclub or club in Brazil, they don't know what that means. Noite is the name, right? So I didn't know that at the time because it was literally the first week I was there. So I'm like, listen, how do I get here? And she's like, and she just looked really confused and puzzled. So I'm like, listen, don't worry about it. Lovely meeting you. I'm gonna head off. She's like, no. She's like holding my arm. I'm like, oh, geez, okay, here we go. What's going on now? I look, and two girls were coming towards us. One of which spoke fluent English. And she's telling me how this is her friend, and I said to her, listen, I was just asking your friend to just pull her aside just to ask for directions. Simply put, that's all. she's like, oh yeah, no, but you know, we're gonna go there anyway after. We're just gonna have a dinner here. And I was just literally under these, you know, these tents that they look like these little shacks. They don't have any walls, just this giant sort of roof with like kind of like hay or something. It's pretty cool, right? And they're all like spread throughout the beach. And, like, we're just gonna have dinner here, and it was like literally right next to us. And then she said, and my friend, who the girl I originally spoke to, said, you should join us. I was like, wow, look, I feel like blessed right now. Like 3 beautiful women, I get to converse, and this would never have happened in a million years anywhere else in the world. I mean, no, I don't think it would have happened here in Sydney, but I think it's just because I was just so chill, and you know, I was foreign to them, and probably that's what, you know, interested them in me. So I sat down, we had dinner, and then we go to the club, and they're like, as we get to the line, the 2 that originally joined said, no, we're gonna jet. You guys enjoy your night. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, I don't mind this girl. Like, not my type, mind you.
Yeah.
You know, she had cornrows and shit. I don't really do the cornrows thing, but it was like, man, whatever. Like, she's cool. And I was like, how do I overcome this barrier? And like, it's very, very hard, but slowly I could start to understand her somehow. I don't know how, but she could start to understand more English. I could start to understand more Portuguese as the night went on. Apparently, with more alcohol, you learn more languages. Story for another day. So, anyways, we got into the bar, and then so with the nightclubs in Brazil, they give you a card, magnetic strip card, and then every time you order a drink, you give the card to the bartender, and they swipe it, and they add the drink to that card.
Yeah.
At the end of the night, you've got to pay, right? So there's a massive line. This is one thing I used to hate in Brazil, is when you leave the nightclub at 4 o'clock in the morning, there's a massive line of everyone want to get out, everyone wanting to get out, and at the same time, and they have to pay for their meal.
Yeah.
Or their drink, sorry. So anyways, long story short, so I get into the club, I shout her a drink, we're drinking, we're vibing, and she's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And from what I can understand, it was her friend, because he was like waving at her like this. See you later. She's like, I'm gonna go say hi to him. Come. She's like, I'm like, nah, you go, do your thing, whatever, I'm here.
Yeah.
Then there's this other girl, drop dead gorgeous one.
Yeah.
11 out of 10. I was like, wow, and I was like buzzing.
Yeah.
And I just looked at her and she smiled. I'm like, oh wow, okay, I never get a smile usually, because it usually takes me forever to catch a girl's eye. I'm like, alright, I didn't think much of it, I just smiled back and approached. Hi, how are you? Within a few minutes, we're talking, getting comfortable. She spoke English, which was good. And then, you know, we started getting that on, you know, just like really close dancing and talking and that. And it's just playing hard to get. I'm like, alright, listen, I gotta go buy a drink, and I saw the other girl sort of heading towards mine, and I said, hey, I'll get you another drink. Thank you for, you know, introducing me to the nightclub. It was like this really cool hip-hop club, right? Anyways, she had this girl another drink, had a couple more, I think about 2, 3 quick ones at the bar. And then as I was sort of leaving, I thought I was going to leave, but I forgot about the card. And I saw the girl that I was trying to get with, right? And she's like, oh, come here, and she grabs my hand and started dancing with me again. And then, like, again, she's playing hard to get. Like, I just want to kiss this girl. Start something, right? She doesn't want to kiss me. I'm like, fuck, man. Then finally, you know, half an hour, almost, what it seemed like an hour, but it was only half an hour, she kissed me.
Yeah.
Like, thank God. Fine. So we're French kissing, like, getting it on, and the dance floor. This is sick. Finally, rah, 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 getting a nice looking girl. And she goes to me, oh, it's 400 reals for the night.
Nah.
I'm like, really? I'm like, you're playing hard to get. You're a hooker. Like, really? Like, come on. Is that necessary?
Yeah.
So I was like, alright. Don't worry about it. I go, oh, let me get back to you. So I just sort of keep her on hold. I just want to see what the other one was doing in case like the other one just bowed out. I'll think about it. I wasn't keen, but I'll think about it. Like, there's a backup option. Anyway, so I go, listen, I've got to go to the bar and pay for my drinks. Now, when I get to the bar, my wallet's not on me.
Yeah.
And my phone, which at the time didn't have the tap, I needed my cards. I hadn't like registered the apps on the phone to tap. Oh, fuck. I don't have any money. The only money I've got on me was like 100 cash.
Were you robbed, are you saying?
No, I had it with me. So I had my license and about 100 cash on me, 100 reals, which is like, you know, $30 here, whatever it is. The tab that came out when they swiped my card at the bar was like 300. I'm like, how did I get to 300? And she starts reading out the beers. and the beers on there were Budweiser.
Yeah.
I'm like, Budweiser? I don't drink Budweiser. What are you talking about? I go, no, Budweiser, me no Budweiser. I'm trying to fucking talk Portuguese here. No, Budweiser. So this girl that I originally spoke to, like saw me struggling at the bar. She came over to help out. And I'm like, look, mate, I didn't drink these drinks. Help me out. They're trying to rob me. They're trying to you know, shaft me here. She's like, alright, so I could see her get flustered and like talk to management and like raise the voice and that. Even though there was a nightclub, it was loud, I could hear it in her voice. So I'm like, wow, this girl's alright, she's standing up for me, she's cool. Then I said to her, I don't have the money.
Yeah.
Like even for the actual bill came back at like 150. I've only got 100. She goes, look, I'll spot you the 50, alright? And then we'll go out, you can go to the ATM or wherever, and give me the 50. I'm like, man, you're amazing, just saved my life, let's go.
Yeah.
Give her the 100, she gets 50 out, or 100 extra, whatever it was, pays the guy, we get out. As we're walking out, the other one, the original girl, the hooker, looks at me and grabs my hand again, she's like, hey, what's going on? Like she's expecting me to leave with her. I'm like, no, I had a problem at the bar with money, I got no money. Thank you, bye. So we head out, hail a cab, and this girl goes, do you want to get the money from ATM? I'm like, no, actually the money's at the hostel.
Yeah.
Why don't we drive back to the hostel and I'll give you the money? Yeah. She's like, sweet. So as the cab's on the way to the hostel, she looks at me and she goes, I like you. I really like you. You come to my house. Yeah. I'm like, what? Serious? She's like, yeah. I'm like, cool, I'm in, man. This is hectic. I'm buzzing. I'm on a high. I'm like, I finally picked up a cool Brazilian chick who's interested. I'm like beaming, right? Yeah. Get to the hostel, run to my fucking locker, bro, like a fucking rapist. I was in this thing, I'm fucking doing all kinds of shit. I went nuts, right? I'm fucking grabbing my bag. I didn't know what I was doing. Grab my bag, fucking look for the bag, open like this. It was a little bit dark and I could see clearly there was my wallet in there, which was a black item, about yay big wallet. It's there, I'm like, sweet, that's where all my money is. Grab it, zipped it, put a couple of condoms in there, whatever. Go. Run back to the cab. Get back to the cab, jump in. I'm like, you're all good. So she tells the driver her address. Start driving. 15 minutes in, she goes, oh, by the way, get the cash. I'm like, oh, sorry. Pull out my wallet. I'm rustling through the bag. I can't find my wallet. Yeah. I'm losing it. I'm like, I saw it. I fucking saw it in there. Yeah. When I pulled out this black thing, this black little thing, was my GoPro. So what I thought was my wallet was my GoPro. Yeah. I'm so sorry, it's at the hostel. I pulled out my GoPro and she wasn't understanding this. She thought at that point that I was trying to evade paying her. Yeah. And I said, no, I promise you, I'll transfer electronically. Give me your card, give me something, I'll PayPal, whatever. Yeah. She had none of that shit, right? They don't use PayPal over there. I was like, whatever. So what do you want me to do? She goes, oh, just pull over quickly. I'll ask the cab driver something. I go, oh, okay. So we pull over. She goes, oh, let's just get out here. Yeah. All right. So I open the door and I got out. And then she looks at me. And then she just quickly closes the door. Yeah. I'm outside the cab, she's inside. And fucking taxi takes off. And I'm like, shit. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. There wasn't a soul in the street of Rio de Janeiro at this stage. It was just after Carnival. I'm looking around, I'm like, shit. I'm like 20 minutes from the hostel and I had no cash on me. Yeah. I'm like, fuck, it's gonna be the walk of shame home. Started walking and then I googled how long it'll take to catch a cab back to the hostel because it was a 20-minute cab ride or whatever. I looked, it was like 20 reals, which is like, I don't know, $5. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Just to teach myself a lesson for rushing when I was looking for my fucking wallet, I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna do the walk of shame. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, took me an hour to walk back to this hostel. Stumble in, get to bed, I was like, oh, what a night. And again, I have to say, Chris has mentioned in the previous podcast where had that situation gone well, like I probably wouldn't have remembered it as well as it not going well and having that experience. So at the end I had a little chuckle to myself. I thought it was so friggin' hilarious. So I just basically got left on the side of the road and got bitched. I thought it was a pretty good experience getting bitched by a Brazilian girl on the side of the road at 4 o'clock in the morning. It was pretty fun. And that's my story, guys. Cheers.
Wraps it up. Till next time. See you later.
Peace.